Hello, good morning. It is the 4th of March 2024, and again I'm doing a quick video for Lent. I didn't do one yesterday, so this one is for yesterday and today. One of the main reasons I didn't do one for the actual 4th of March, even though yesterday I did the one... Sorry, let me get this right. Yesterday I should have done a video for the 3rd of March, which I'm doing today along with the 4th. I noticed on my video my face is a little bit red and blotchy. I can only apologise. I've exfoliated my skin, but even though I'm in my 40s, I still actually suffer with a lot of blemishes because I have a health problem that basically causes outbreaks, and it's really frustrating to live with. And unfortunately, it's only getting worse. So yeah, yesterday I would have done a video, but then again, with my rule in my house that Sundays is supposed to be No Technology Day, I decided to only do the one video to replace the fact that I am actually a day behind with a lot of my videos. And I focused on my family. We had such a fantastic day yesterday. My 5-year-old boy spelt Somerset. Now, he didn't write it down. I was trying to encourage my children to do some reading and writing and arithmetic. And all three of them were really into it, and it was amazing to see that because we didn't have the internet on or, the TV, how they were so involved with wanting to do a different activity. And this is something that, I try to encourage, even if it's just one day a week in my house. And my little boy, he's only 5. And I have a 10-year-old and I have an 8-year-old who I homeschool because he's disabled, but not disabled enough to get an EHCP. But he's too disabled to go to mainstream. And I said to my oldest, okay, we're going to write something about going to Minehead. If you want to go on holiday, how much is it going to cost? So I was trying to encourage my children to learn about money and how much things cost and about budgeting. And then I said Somerset. And my little 5-year-old went, set. And obviously there's only one M in Somerset. So I've obviously not done it how he did it. And I went, you what? How do you spell Somerset? And he went, set. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's absolutely amazing. And I will say that, hand on heart, that is absolutely amazing that he did that. And now he's even recognising when we go out small words like hot, cold, and, he knows the names of different shops. But he's known that ever since he was able to speak. So he'll go, oh, Asda, Sainsbury's, Lidl, that's Amazon, that's Netflix, because he sees these words on a daily basis, which is why I got accused of not having dyslexia when I was at school. Because I did a business studies qualification, I knew words like hierarchy and hierarchical. And it was like, oh, you can't have dyslexia if you know how to spell hierarchical. And it's like, well, no, because it's a word that in business you would use. It didn't necessarily mean that I would know how to spell words like onomatopoeia or dodecahedron. I still can't spell circle. I still can't spell business. I still can't spell because, unless I use the saying, big elephants cry and upset small elephants, or difficulty, Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. FFI, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. LTY. So there's certain things that I still have to do in order to spell words that my children are literally able to spell. And I'm 40. And again, I used to scuba dive. So again, I knew scientific medical things because it was related to the sport I was doing. It didn't mean that I had a degree in being a doctor. And, so throughout life, people pick up these skills and pick up these tricks and pick up these traits. I mean, my son, he might be fantastic at one thing, but he still can't tie his shoelaces. He still can't go to the toilet without being assisted. He still can't cross a road without looking both ways before crossing the street. He will see something. He's very visually driven with his autism, and he will go for it. So it was so great yesterday to see each one of them playing to their strengths and supporting each other. So again, it is about that sort of, over the next 40 days during Lent, which, use that time to get to know each other a bit better. Turn off the TV once a week. Or even if you don't turn it off, even if it's just like over an hour a day, talk to your children, talk to your family. And my son on Friday, he came home from school and he was so upset. He was so angry and something had happened. I still don't know what's happened. He won't tell me. But then yesterday he was like, thank you, Mummy. I love you, Mummy. Thank you for making me dinner, Mummy. Thank you for spending time with me, Mummy. He was so appreciative of the fact that I was actually talking to him, spending time with him. I didn't just sit him in front of a TV screen and I wasn't on my phone or doing something. It was a proper family afternoon. And, and my 5-year-old, he was like, his brother said, okay, what's 7 plus 7? And he goes, 14. And again, he was counting on his fingers, but he knew it. And again, my mother's son, we were giving him maths equations and then mental arithmetic for my 8 and 10-year-old, not my 5-year-old. It'd be good if it was. It's just so amazing. And I know that they've got that from their dad. So when people say to me, oh, why did you have children with this person? It's because I knew what their strengths were. And straight away, it's like in the wild when people have and animals breed, you look for the strongest stag to mate with. It's the survival of the fittest. And with my children, the biggest strength that their dad has offered them, apart from good looks, and we always joke because we always say, for somebody his age, he's doing really, really well health-wise, and he still has all his teeth, he still has all his hair, he wears glasses, and he's 6 foot, and he's not overweight for his height either. So, health-wise, he's doing quite well, but he can read, he can write, he's IT savvy to a point, but he's really good at maths. And I've always said to my children, if you could have any strengths in life, it's got to be able to read and write and spell. Maybe not spell so much because now obviously you can use spell checker, but to be able to read and be able to calculate things in order to help you budget is really important. And the fact that my 8 and 10-year-old, I literally I'm throwing equations at them. I said to them, okay, I need you to work out how much Mummy and Daddy, even though we don't live together, have to earn each or have in our bank accounts at the end of each month in order to pay our rent or, to pay our outgoings. And straight away, my son was like, but you're not earning enough. You're in the negative. It's minus 150 quid. And that was for both of us. And it was like, how do you know this? And he was like, how are you surviving if you're not earning, if you're minus 150 pounds? And then his dad explained that he had a credit card, and most people in today's society, they live on what's called credit or they have an overdraft. And then he said to me, what do you do, Mummy? You don't have a credit card. You don't have an overdraft. And I said, no. But if I financially struggle, then because me and your dad don't live together, but we're both responsible for taking care of you, then we'll support each other. So if I can't afford bread or milk this week, your dad will put it on his credit card. And then when I have saved the money, I'll pay him back and vice versa. And I said, and this is what people do. They help each other. Or, you don't buy things you don't need. And he was like, but I couldn't, how can you, like, you know, survive? And I'm like, well, this is the problem people are having. They are struggling. They are on the breadline. And if it wasn't for the opportunities that some people have, which is to have an overdraft or, you know, to have a credit card, they would struggle more. And with me, I used to have an overdraft. And when I had an overdraft, I did live in my overdraft. Now I don't have one. I try really, really hard not to be in what I call the red. I used to have a credit card, but again, I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how to use it properly. I used to have store cards. And again, if you don't know how these things work, people are more than happy to give them you. It always reminds me of the movie Confessions of a Shopaholic. It's like they thought I was a valued customer, and now they're sending me hate mail. Yeah, because they want you to have a store card, because they make more money if you can't pay it back. So they're more than happy to say, oh yeah, have a store card, have a store card, have a store card. Oh, and then your bill comes through in the post. Oh, you can't pay it. You might only owe us £20, but we're going to charge 25% APR on that. So you don't owe them £20, you owe them whatever it would be. You see, again, and because I'm no good at maths, I didn't understand this. And so now I always say to my children, if you can't afford something, don't buy it. Yes, save if you can. Or if it's something you really, really want, then ask mommy and daddy and then see if we can loan you the money, and then we take it back out of your pocket money. And one of the things my son really, really wanted, he's not actually done a video about it yet, I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of weeks with him, is he saw this toy in a charity shop. It was what they call an eco house. Ironically, it's made of polystyrene. And it was £7. And he was like, I want to buy this house. I want to buy this house now. And I was like, so tempted to just get the money out and give it him. And his dad said, no, don't. He's got the money. He hasn't brought it with him. It's at home in his piggy bank. Bring him back down tomorrow and he can pick it up. So there was always that worry in the back of my head that it would have been sold, and then he would have been really upset, and I would have paid for bus fare, and we would have spent the day in town, and he would have been really moody and mardy, and he wouldn't have got what he wanted. But we took the risk because it was quite late in the afternoon on the Saturday. So we went to town on the Sunday. No, sorry, I think it was during the school holiday, so it might have been a Friday, and we went to town on the Saturday. But either way, we went to town, me and my oldest, and he was so lucky. He went into the charity shop, and the woman was standing there, and she went, have you come back for the eco house? And he said yes, and she goes, okay, that's £7, and I got it for him. He paid for it. And she said, you do know, if your mummy and daddy had asked me, I would have put it behind the till for you, and then you could have come and picked it up. And I was like, well, that wasn't my place to do that. He could have done that himself. And so she was happy because there was a sale, and he was happy because he got his eco house. Me and his dad were happy because he had learned the fact that he had to pay for it out of his own pocket money. So it was a win-win and a real learning curve for everyone. And no one was disappointed. First thing he did when he got home was he put it all back. He put it together all by himself, set it up. It's got a little solar panel on the roof. It's got a little wind turbine, which will spin when the solar panel has generated enough energy. And then there's some kind of light bulb, which will then turn on inside, which he can then use to grow plants. So it's a really, really intelligent sort of learning tool that he's purchased, and anything like that he loves. And again, I'm more than happy to invest in things like this than other stuff that, you know, isn't going to last or is not going to learn anything from it. So we have got quite a few solar powered kind of toys that you have to make yourself. So it's a bit like Meccano, but with the added solar panels to help them move. And so again, please, if you're going to take anything from today's video, which should have been for yesterday as well, family time is important. You do not get that back. So please, over the rest of Lent, try and spend some time with your loved ones. Listen to each other, because you don't know what you're going to learn. And like I said, you're never going to get that time back. And I am so proud of my kids yesterday and what they've achieved. Some days I'm not proud. I'm like every parent. I'm like, oh, you're a little bugger. Why can't you listen? Listen to me. Stop messing around. But yesterday was just worth its weight in gold as to how amazing all three of them were and how supportive they were, and to have the opportunity. So I'm happy that we still continue to do No Technology Sunday. And I'm hoping it's something that we can continue to do indefinitely. Thank you.